Hey dudes, this is today's project. You see, a few years ago I made this machete out of a similar vintage lawnmower, and it was so much fun I've decided to get another mower, but I'm going to make a knife instead. Oh, by the way, if you're new to the channel, I make knives out of a lot of cool stuff. Meat hooks, scissors, an old scythe, fish hooks, other knives, springs, an ice saw, Civil War bayonet, guitar strings, and a lot of other stuff. I'll link to those videos in the description. But for now, let's get back to the task at hand. Step one, the internet won't forgive me if I ruin a good mower, so let's make sure it doesn't work.
No, it's not doing anything.
I think I've made one of these in the past, only I used the spinners here. And what you guys told me was that this actually has hardenable steel. This is the blade. I think that's what you said. And this actually has good steel because it's hardenable. So let's get this thing cut up and we'll see what we got. I'll have to do some spark testing on it. At any rate, I want to get this done. It's raining outside. I don't want this to get rusty or anything. Richmond, Indiana. I don't think this is going to be usable steel. This is the axle. I guess there's a chance this is regular iron. These are the bearings. The handle thing. It's got wood on the inside. Maybe I can use that for part of the handle or something. I don't know. Alright, this front part is the blade. And this should be hardenable steel, right? It's obviously high carbon or simple carbon steel because it's rusted to all heck. This back part cut like it was cast iron with those sparks. Maybe it's regular iron. I don't know. This used to be exchangeable. These screws would come out and then you just buy a new blade for your mower. I think there's almost zero chance I can get these screws to come out at this point.
The axle has long, modestly bursting sparks. It's probably mild steel. Handle looks like the same thing. Whatever this is called has a pretty decent amount of short bursty sparks. That would suggest high carbon steel to me, or maybe medium to high carbon steel. This blade backer sparks a lot like iron. And the blade itself is definitely high carbon steel. Lots of short, super bursty sparks. I think the easiest way to separate the blade at this point is to grind away the backing or the nuts and then drill through the bolts. Well, it looks good, but those holes are going to be a challenge. Here's a piece of our blade cut off and cleaned up. It's currently 30 HRC on the hardness tester, so I'm going to quench it in water just to make sure we can get it up around 60 HRC for a good blade. Back in the hardness tester after quenching. And this comes in at 67.5 HRC. That's pretty good.
If you look down this thing, it's not straight. It sort of wanders off to the left. So let's heat it up, vice clamp it, see if we can straighten it out before we do anything else.
Alright, it's been straightened. I'm cleaning it up here so I can draw a knife pattern on it. We'll get that pattern cut out on the grinder here. It'll be ready for bevels next, and then heat treatment.
She's been normalized to 1550 and then 1500. And as soon as the oven over here comes up to temperature, we're going to quench her from 1480 and Parks 50.
Here I'm grinding the tang flat in preparation for the handles. Now on one side of the knife there's sort of a dip as it gets back next to the spine. And so I have to grind I guess I would say like a divot. I have to grind extra deep on that side there so that the handles will be flush. Time for finished grinding. I'm going to take the bevels back to the spine a little bit more. Looks good so far. I'm digging the shape. Very nice grinding there. And then, oops, there's a crack. Now this was likely present in the blade prior to heat treat. Defects like this are one of the risks of upcycling steel. It doesn't go all the way through in this case, so I'm not that worried about it in a knife this size, but I'm not going to put a maker's mark on this one as a result. Let's try to get at that wood and see if any can be salvaged for our handle material. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get it to work. There's just too much rot and termite damage, so I'm going to use these nice walnut scales instead. I have to glue up the handle slabs separately because there's a step off on one side of the knife, remember, and I have to glue the handle very precisely to that side before drilling holes. Once that side is glued up, I'll drill holes in that side through the tang, through the handles, and then I'll glue up the other side and drill holes going back the other way through that side of the scales. And then we'll add our handle fasteners last. I'm really liking the look of this knife. Sharpening it was a bit of a chore. The burr was difficult to raise and then it was difficult to get off. It was very toothy too. It didn't want to take a polish. So I got it to about 1,000 grit and I just gave up on trying to get it much past there. Let's put it through some 1-inch Cecil rope and see how it does with edge retention. Remember, most of our high carbon forging steels are getting somewhere between 8 and 11 cuts depending on their geometry and hardness. Ten cuts, that's not bad. Overall, turned out pretty good. I like it. I like the handles. I like the shape. Pretty nice. I wish there wasn't that crack on one half of the blade up there. That is what it is with these types of projects. At any rate, this was a lot of fun. I forgot how much fun this stuff was. I'll have to try to do some more of it. Maybe I can forge weld up some of that spindle type of thing. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.